And it's a pleasure to have women leaders representing industry today on the occasion of the International Women's Day. It's very fitting to have a senior member from the industry here. And as a part of the investor education activities, so SEBI has always been partnering the market infrastructure institutions and also the industry. And over a period of time, we would want more of this engagement to happen so that we can take the message to more and more investors and potential investors so that the universe expands. Right. So as of now, if you would have observed during your time, the people who invest in the markets are very few, right? And the same people over and over again, they are making more and more investments. But the newer people may feel a little shy to tap the markets, number one. And on the other hand, if you see the corporates also, they are now, they used to earlier depend on bank financing and stuff. Now they are having PE, VC funding. And I think now they are becoming more and more keen to come to the markets. So on one hand, if you see, there has been that change. So I think this is the change scenario that we are dealing with. And as we can foresee, we need to bridge the gap between people who have more knowledge and to people who are yet to gain that knowledge. So I think, what are your thoughts, let's say, from the industry point of view, on what the corporates think and feel about the markets, the larger ones and the medium and the smaller ones? If you can talk about it in 3 different buckets, that would be great.
So, when talking about the markets and the interest of the young professional, let's start with the lower rung first. For them, new thing, and they are excited, and they are more informed because thanks to technology, they are early adopters. But for them, it's they are open to the thoughts of trying different finances, because many of the first-time entrepreneurs or the entrepreneurs who are coming the family-run side, they are at the small, right? So for them, thoughts of finances is quite interesting. Because they have traditionally heard about the traditional systems with bank loan. So they're quite well aware of the system and the working and the cost which is involved. So they are open to the thought of trying alternate sources of funding. And as the industry association, we CX and BSC and many of the those out here, we have done a lot of series or initiatives trying to educate these young professionals or the young entrepreneurs to go for alternate source of funding. And of course, true SMEs and MSMEs, because for them also that funds from the traditional market is lengthy and cumbersome. They don't want to go that. Second, it's that understanding that it's too much of a documentation with them is a challenge. Then again, the cost, because they are very cost conscious people. So if teams from BSc, NSC explain that it's equally lucrative and you can get good value from here, they tend to get motivated and encouraged to try these kind of things. So we have done a couple of sessions with them, both with BSc and NSC, trying to connect the SMEs segment, especially for these new sources. When it comes to large organization, for them, the learning is not a challenge for them, because they are large by the sheer nature. They understand MCX's attraction, because they want to play with the commodity market more. So that's where the attraction for them is, because they are dealing like the steel players or the iron and steel sector members of ours. They are more attracted towards the metal games. because they have the funds at their hand, they have the understanding. But when it comes to SME and MSMEs, this initial is there, but they are adopting. They're slowly coming out of the shell, accepting the new forms. That's the thing I can.
That is so nice to know from the industry point of view. And anything about the different kind of sectors that you're seeing, and who are the people who are showing more interest towards fundraising from the markets? The sunrise kind of sectors, or the already established ones? Or if you could talk about a few sectors, so that will be nice.
Sectors, I would generally say it's more of mixed bag, more of manufacturing, because manufacturing companies, they need more funding to expand their business operations, etc. So they are inclined to more of these kind of alternate sources. Also the export segment, the companies which are more of export oriented units, whether it is agro or food processing export, whether it is any other form of textile export companies, they also have the need for the funds to expand, and they are open to trying this alternate source of financing. So so it's mixed bag. It's both manufacturing and also the export oriented. Yes, the service sector, or they are not. I mean, for them the need is different, so probably they'll not go for. So it's primarily these kinds. Yeah, it's capital incentive. So it's primarily the organization, more to do with the export oriented units. That's what we felt.
This is interesting. So I think if it is export oriented units, they would probably be more interested from a trade finance point of view and working capital point of view, right? And expansion. So I think it is that cycle time that is involved. And how do you think has been the interest of these corporates to use the derivatives market to hedge forex risk? What has been their interest, the export or import based entities? How do you think they have used?
Yeah, a lot of them have used, I agree with that, and I think most of the commodity people, they are the one who are using these facilities. I mean, for me, my member base is more of iron and steel, which uses this facility. But I think if you go to Gujarat side or the other places, so it wouldn't be iron and steel, it would be more of the agriculture commodity based players who would be using this facility. So in iron and steel goes into these kind of things, scrap metal or things like that, no? But Gujarat, Rajasthan, that belt, you see, it's a different kind of segment which is using this.
For Vibhorji, this is a very familiar area. So I would request him to give his comments on how active this segment has been in the eastern region, and he could also touch upon the potential and the kind of growth opportunities that are available.
It's always a pleasure to have somebody from the industry to interact and to encourage and to represent the kind of participation coming into the different financial markets at the behest of the overall industry as such. It's also a pleasure to have somebody from the regulation side like Vikasji to share his views and the keen interest that he has in understanding and in contribution that the different market players and infrastructure institutions can make to the overall development, the overall ecosystem of the financial markets. Now, when it comes to the industrial side, happy to say that almost all segments of the industrial side have been participating very, almost regularly and in a big manner when it comes to the commodities market side and the currency as well. As rightly mentioned sometime a while back, it was being discussed that it makes a lot of sense for any of these people who are willing to import side or the export side, which is on the demand side of the cycle to hedge their risk either in terms of commodities or in terms of the foreign exchange, so forex. Be it the importers for raw materials, be it entire value chain, be it the people from the primary producers to the processors and intermediates and the final consumers, all of them serves again the risks that are in markets and to have all bid in these markets. Thank you very much. Skip it.
SEBI থেকে like regarding investment একটা initial knowledge দেওয়া হয়েছে initial knowledge দেওয়া হয়েছে মিউচুয়াল ফান্ড আরেকটা জিনিসের তালাতে আপনাকে বলি SEBI থেকে মেলা পারপাস কিছু অ্যাগ্রিমেন্ট আছে লাইক রিগার্ডিং মার্কেট
कोशिश कर रहा हूँ मैं दे दूँगा सर भी बोलेंगे ये लड़का तो नहीं मुद्दा भर रहा है ना
এই সামনেটা একটু ছেড়ে দেওয়া এই সামনেটা একটু ছেড়ে দেওয়া এখান থেকে দাঁড়ালে অসুবিধা নেই, কারণ এখানে দাঁড়ালে বড় মাথায় ছিল গেছে।
इसको बंद कर दूँ? हाँ ठीक है, ये बंद कर देने से हो जाएगा ना, वहाँ पे जागा है। क्या हुआ? फोल्डर डालना पड़ता है ना, मेल तो आया अंदर कर कुछ मतलब पूरा फंडामेंटल आपको अगर जानना है तो आप फंडामेंटल जो है दोनों भी इन्वेस्ट किए हैं तो आप जो यहाँ पर BSc जो है वहाँ पे जो वाइट वाला ये वाला भर दीजिए, पेन नहीं है, सीधा में पेन दो ना ये सर आके लैपटॉप नहीं है कास्ता करो भाई, कास्ता कर दीजिए पेन हाँ, हम लोग को जबरदस्ती दे दी ठीक है, ओनली फीमेल ये इसके अटेंडिव ठीक है तो ठीक है, बट ये भी हाँ ये तो 50 बोले थे ये जगह आपसे ताদের फीमेल ओनली फीमेल इज और हमारा यहाँ ऑफिस में 50 रहेगा ऑफिस के लिए और जो MIS के लिए 300 का ऑर्डर है ठीक है, 50 रख दो, ये वाला 50 दे दिए मेरे को, ये हमारा जो विजिटर आ रहे हैं उनको देना चालू किया ना 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 वो प्रोग्राम के बाद हमारा लोग खा रहे हैं, ये 50 रख दो नीचे, ये अलग है और बाकी 50টা রেখে দিই, কারণ এটা যখন দেওয়া হবে আর বাকি আমার মনে হয় অল্প অল্প দেবো बिकॉज उतना प्रोग्राम चलेगा 6:30-7 बजे तक, 1 घंटे में तुम खत्म नहीं कर पाओगे। अच्छा 200 और रहेगा, तुम 50 तो उधर रख दो पहले। ना ना এটা ঠিক है हाफ ऑफ ये और थोड़ा छोटा कर दो ज़्यादा इसको हाफ होना एक्चुअली डबल हो जाता है जॉयदी नंबर डबल हो जाता है क्या हो गया ज़्यादा प्लीज कर दो हमें की भी कोई अच्छा वो एजो के साथ सेटअप माइक मतलब किसको दिया आज नहीं चलेगा এটা অপেক্ষায় তো মিউজিক করতে ঠিক আছে एक बार थोड़ा राउंड मार के प्रिंटर की अगर सोलो देखो ना सबके टेबल में थोड़ा वो लगेगा মানে বলো ওইটা না শোল্ডারে হলে ভালো হতো
So ma'am, you have taken a tour of our pavilion here and you have met all the FIs, you have seen the displays, you have seen our mascots. So love to hear from you about what do you think about this initiative of ours. We are doing it first time, so we are keen to hear feedback.
Thank you so much. I think it's a marvelous initiative, and when I walked in, I did mention about it that it's a very unique thing which has happened, and I would certainly like to put it across to the SHM members and also put it on the social media, tagging everyone's concern so that this can reach out, because usually when you come to book fair, the thought is that you will just pick some books and probably interact with some new writers who have come and who are trying to launch their own themselves here. But to have to come out and share with the masses and give them the awareness, give them the knowledge, and where all the partners have joined hand together, that's amazing, because this brings a trust factor among the common people, this brings an interest among the common people, and in order to strengthen that bonding, the kind of activities which you have brought in, you know, the display, the ticker, the logos, the place, the mascots, the activities of quiz which I just learned has been organized. So the combined package or the combined effort is really worth commending. So congratulations to the entire team on this.
Thank you. I'll ask you a candid question. When you were invited to come for a book stall in the book stall, what did you have in mind, and what were you actually thinking compared to what you actually saw?
Well, there's a huge difference. Let me be very honest. So when Bibha mentioned about it, I said book fair because it's almost been, I think, 6-7 years I've stopped coming to book fair. But then when he said no, it's a initiative we all are doing combined. So there was some excitement to see that this new kind of effort is there. And when I came in and I saw, I'm really amazed to see the kind of energy which the team has and the kind of effort the team has put in. I would really strongly recommend each and everyone to come, and I would request you and the entire team to ensure this is repeated every year.
That's absolutely on our minds to keep doing this every year. This is a beginning that we have made, and thank you very much for those encouraging words. Then we were having the conversation earlier about your widespread experience across various sectors, and a very interesting point that you mentioned about the changes into the economy through a very vibrant logistics sector. So you could throw a little light on how the journey has been and how this industry has contributed to boosting economic growth.
Thank you so much. So when it comes to logistics or supply chain industry, the industry as a whole has grown significantly. Previously, when you think of logistic, you were just basically thinking of surface transport separately, water separately, air to some extent. But that the sector itself has grown very vibrantly. You are more talking about integrated logistics now. You are talking about warehousing. You are talking about modern technology. You are talking about artificial intelligence in it. So that development of the infrastructure development of the logistic industry has also changed significantly over last 2 decades, you can say. And then the thing we were discussing about the e-commerce part of it. So with the incoming of the e-commerce, the logistic suddenly took a different shape and size. You have a very unique kind of logistic when it comes to agro-food processing or pharmaceutical. You have a very different kind of a logistic when you're talking about heavy metals. So the entire thing and the food processing industry instantly brought in a lot of logistic changes, because it was more of it wasn't anymore that people would stock things and maintain the high level of inventory. That just in time came into with with all this, that somebody else is maintaining the warehouses, somebody else is producing, and then suddenly it's just being shipped right at the time when it's just to go into the mix. So these development has happened over the past 2 decades, and these days you have such modern and advanced warehousing concepts. Even in place like Calcutta or surrounding area, the e-commerce companies, their warehouses and their facilitation centers where they are moving the parcels around are so unique. Nobody could think like airport has conveyor belt system. A logistic company will put a conveyor belt system in their distribution setup. So these are the new developments which has come, and that has brought in a lot of confidence in the industry, who were willing to accept this and come up with the projects or teams, and e-commerce is outcome of that. That's how you have now Pepperfry thinking of delivering furnitures. Otherwise, who would in the world think of moving furnitures? And who would think of moving refrigerators or televisions? These were the things which were supposed to be in mortar and brick system, and there has to be a showroom to show. So that whole mindset of people and the companies have changed just with the development of the sector.
Absolutely. So there are some key points that you mentioned when it comes to use of technology and artificial intelligence. If you've observed over the years, SEBI also has been very passionate about technology, and throughout the journey that we have had, which is mapped here, one of the biggest things that SEBI had done is to bring in dematerialization and then having electronic trading. And every time if you see new products have been added, means of surveillance and better enforcement mechanisms, all of them have evolved with the use of technology. So SEBI has been very passionate about technology, and I think that has been the case with the industry too. So I think I would also pick your brains about infrastructure. I guess it's a sector very closely linked to logistics, and the kind of infrastructure that we have, and where the infrastructure push could be required. And maybe you could comment a little about the eastern region and the kind of potential and things related to that.
All right. So infrastructure is the most upcoming sector anyway across the country. But then Eastern region has a unique advantage in the sense that this was the infrastructure wise, it was not that well developed as a region as compared to Western region or Southern region, which has taken the lead. So now the focus of the entire nation is on this part, because when you have captured certain markets or certain regions, saturation sort of comes in there. So there's a limit to which you can grow. So where do you go next? You go to the place where there is potential to grow. And east and the entire northeast. When I'm saying east, it's basically Jharkhand, Odisha, Bihar, right up to Assam and beyond. So the whole area is having the opportunity for the infrastructure sector to grow, because somewhere there was a gap between the north or the south or the eastern part of it. So that's one area where there's a huge potential. And even when we talk of technology-wise, data center companies are coming and setting up shops in Calcutta, because I mean, like you said, that SEBI has moved so much technologically advanced now. Data center is the most in things. That's a new gold, new oil. Data center is the new oil, right? So a lot of large organization, lot of big players who have presence already in South or Mumbai are now looking at this region. And the advantage of the West Bengal is that it's from this region you can even reach out to the difficult terrains of Northeast and go to the neighboring countries also, Bangladesh and all these other places. So there's a lot of technology handshake which is existing between this region and Bangladesh and Bhutan, and so that's a big advantage for Calcutta as a city.
That's fantastic. So, what would you think about having more education programs for people across various sectors, and can we think of a system wherein you could partner with the MIIs, and also wherever SEBI can take part in those programs? So we would be very happy to partner with the industry to spread the word, not only from an investor education point of view, but if you have any thoughts on compliance, or something which makes life better, which facilitates for a smoother environment, we would be very happy to do that. So I suppose I would request you to go back to your industry members and say that we are, you can just share what you saw. I won't even ask you to say that you please tell them this and that. So just tell them what you saw here and the kind of energy that we have here, and we are very willing to take this journey ahead and do more.
Thank you. Yes, I think me and Vibhor, we discussed to some extent. We have worked in tandem in parts, like with NSC we have done few series, MCX we have done separate series, Bombay Stock Exchange we have done series for SMEs, trying to do them the education, giving them the opportunity of understanding the alternative finances, how they can list themselves, equity raising it. We have done those exercises. Yes, it would be a wonderful thought that if we can be part of your journey, and as outcome of this, a series can be planned where with different partners we are able to hold sessions. the basis would increase larger audience in any of the segments.
Thank you so much for your presence here and your comments on various sectors. And it was an honor to have you here and to have someone representing the industry, heading the eastern region. We have a stellar example of women leaders coming here and taking a very strong initiative and expressing passion to also partner us and to take our objectives further. Viborji, I would request you for your closing comments.
Thank you so much, Vikas sir. It is, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to, as mentioned by Vikas ji, an important leader, a woman leader from the industry and fraternity, a key contributor to the overall financial system as such. After all, the financial system and the financial markets work basis the industrial development, which is contributing majorly to the entire financial ecosystem. So I extend my thanks, and it was a pleasure to have you with us and encourage us and share your views on different areas of the industry, the utility of financial markets and the way forward. And I would again also extend my gratitude to Vikas sir to have taken out the time to welcome, also share his thoughts and be in conversation with an important leader of the industry on and make it a very wide all-round discussion on basically encompassing different areas from the industry to logistics to the and to the overall financial system as such. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have both of you us. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, sure. Tirupati, can you just ask the photographer? Sunday was a record, around almost 3,000 people. 3,500 people. Stop. It was amazing. Thank you. Tirupati, you can also take a click of us together. Yeah. Joydeep sir, I would request you to come over. Atanu sir is there. So we have the pleasure of having RD sir and Atanu sir here. Wow, we are really lucky today to have RD sir here with us and Atanu sir. So a pleasure to have today the regional director of ASSOCHAM. From the industry side, we had somebody first time. We have RD sir here who has taken real great initiative, and Atanu, and of course Jaideep. They have taken great initiative in this first initiative, and in this part of the region, and book fair probably the first time in the country. And I would personally, and all the MIs would like to thank SEBI and Atanu sir, RD, and all of them to have taken this great initiative. And from the industry side, we had Mrs. Parminderjeet Kaur, and she was sharing her thoughts and getting that from the overall markets as such, which I believe is going to contribute majorly to development of the overall ecosystem. Thank you, sir, and I would like Adi sir to share a few words.
I'll let me reserve because the program is going to start at 5:30 then.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Adanu sir. Thank you, Adi sir, for this thing. Thank you. Thank you, Jaideep ji. Thank you.
मेरा मोबाइल से बात लाइव वीडियो सेंटर में आपको ट्रेनिंग यहाँ पर है सर यहाँ हो गया बोल दिया We have to stand for an hour. हो जाएगा Hello, hello. I'm very sorry to say, but can I request all of you to just clear this space for time being? Let us set up the entire thing and call you people. I request all you people, please leave this place for 5-10 minutes.
মিঠুন সুমন সৌম্য ভিতরে আয়। মিঠুন সুমন সৌম্য ভিতরে আয়। দুজনে এখানে থাক, দুজন আমার কাছে আয়।
সেটা ওখানে দাঁড়ানো যাচ্ছে না, ঠান্ডা এই
ওরা ভিতরে আজকে ঘর এখানে টেবিলটা রে পুষ্পা রে
দর্শককে জিজ্ঞেস করুন, বাস অন্য কাউকে জিজ্ঞেস করার দরকার আমাদের সহজ ছিল ভাই বুঝবে।
Sir, we can move the tables like this only because of the electrical connection. We cannot move this. So this is also okay for the time being. Sir, more chairs? क्या रख दो अच्छा ये वाला पैकेट के अंदर डाल दो सब कुछ पैकेट के अंदर डाल दो नहीं बातें थे सारा जल्दी अब तो ऑलमोस्ट डेली हो रहा है आपका ना आपको बोलना चाहिए ऑलरेडी
तुमने रखा है तो ये बाहर में हम ले सकते हैं
एग्जैक्टली सबको नहीं देना देख कुछ कुछ करके दो कीप अ स्टॉक की बात में नहीं हाइट उतना है क्या वो थोड़ा और ऊपर होगा ना चिन लेवल में आएगा थोड़ा फेस ऊपर आएगा पेपर लगा दो देखे ना
ক্যামেরাটা ওই সাইডে লাগিয়ে দেবো ক্যামেরাটা এই সাইডে লাগিয়ে দেবো ফেস তো আসবে না ব্যাক সাইড আসছে
लगे दो पाछे कर दिए इसको पाछे कर पीछे कर दिया गैप लगे लोग पीछे मारे पांच के रखने जगह फाका शॉट कोई मुझे स्पीकर कनेक्ट कर रहा हूं ओके फाइनल बेस्ट
सर साइड नहीं पता हाँ हाँ सर इस तरह
স্পিকার স্পিকার দিতে হবে স্পিকার
আরে ছেড়ে দাও
কে আছে সাউন্ডে সাউন্ডে কে আছে
স্পিচ হবে ডাইরেক্ট স্পিচ হবে
সাউন্ডের লোক পিছনে আছে
ও পিছনে কেউ আছে এখানে
জানি না
টেবিল দিয়েছিল
यशोजीत সুমন সুমন ওই দিকে দেখো না আইটি ছেলেটা কি আছে এখানে স্পিকারে তার দেবে এইদিকে দেখো आवाज किधर से आ जाएगा स्पीकर पहले देते हैं उन लोग जो बात करेंगे स्पीकर में होना चाहिए स्पीकर टेस्ट करेंगे पहले को फाइनल करेंगे
मैं बात कर रहा हूँ तो कहाँ से
इधर से अभी लगाया आप बात पहले से लैपटॉप से बात करेंगे
लैपटॉप से
अच्छा ठीक है तो मैं माइक लगा देता हूँ
तो shall I speak on this one?
एक मिनट लाइन पर
सर एक बार देख लेते हो मौसम मोड़ किया कवर लगा बाहर रख के कवर लगा
थोड़ा घूम के बैठे इस तरफ इस तरफ इस तरफ इस तरफ
थोड़ा सा हटा लो तुम गेट चले जाएंगे आप ही हटाओ
ठीक है
मुझे वो अपना जो टिकट बोर्ड है उसमें हैप्पी वुमेन्स डे कौन है
सर मैं
हटा देता हूँ आप फोटो कर दो
हाँ कर
स्पीकर में उधर से इधर से अच्छा
मिठुन मिठुन ভিতরে বাইরে 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 বাইরে
Recording in progress.
ला लो इधर और बना क्या क्या कितना बोला था आपको 10 आया अभी 10 आया 10 क्यों है
स्पीकर देख लेना
10 कहाँ है 10 दिखाओ मेरे को
करवा दो खत्म करो
एक से आया 4 में का है नहीं आएंगे
आवाज आ रहा है हेलो आवाज आ रहा है हेलो
ব্যাটারিগুলো চার্জে বসে গেছে তো আগে থেকে সরাবে নাকি ওদিকে না ব্যাক আসলে ফেস আসবে এই জন্য এখানে যখন জুম করবে দেখো এটা এরকম হবে এবার সামনে তো যাওয়া যাবে না সামনে যেটা ফুল ফেস পেলাম সামনে তো যাওয়া যাবে না গান হয়ে যাবে না সেটাই ওই জন্য বললাম ফোনটা ধরলে কি হবে না তাহলে এই দুজনকে এদিকে ঘুরে বসতে হবে এই বলে দেখো ঘুরে বসে কি
ये वाला है उसका काउंटिंग यूट्यूब पे
তা দুজনে একই আমি এখানে লাগিয়ে দিলে দুজনে
সুপ্রভাত। আন্তর্জাতিক নারী দিবস 2022 উপস্থিত সকল মাননীয় মহোদয় মহোদয়কে জানাই আমার সাদর আমন্ত্রণ ও নমস্কার। আমি সেবির পক্ষ থেকে আন্তরিক ধন্যবাদ জানাই সকল পৃষ্ঠপোষক উদ্যোক্তাদের যাদের প্রচেষ্টায় আজকের এই স্টল কলকাতা পুস্তক মেলায়
ওটাকে আপনি উঁচু করে নিয়ে কোণে চলে
হ্যাঁ
যাবেন।
উঁচু করে নিচ্ছি
আপনাকে ওই জায়গাটা দিতে পারবো না।
ঠিক আছে এবার দেখো
और लार एक और है सर लार फिर और आ रहा है
সে কাজ হয়ে যাচ্ছে
और एक तो दे दे गुंजन के पास ही होगा ये सागर ये पकड़ा नहीं
जूम कर लो।
वो भी जाएगा गुंजन को पकड़ेगा सागर तो shall I call them
মাথা নিচু করলে হবে
यहाँ से लाइव ऑडियो हो रहा है सर फटाफट ले फटाफट आप लोगों का
Hello, am I audible?
yes audible
Yeah, thank you.
अंकिता मैं कहाँ है मैं कहाँ है उसको देखने के लिए बोला था
अच्छा आप माइक को सुना सर इधर बात करेंगे तो थोड़ा देर भी आवाज
छोड़ दो
इधर बात करो इधर बात
ठीक है इधर भी आएगा उधर भी जाएगा
हेलो
আছে और है
রেট করবে পেমেন্ট বাড়াবে পেমেন্ট অলরেডি 5000 আছে আমি 550 করে দিচ্ছি 500 কত আছে फोर 5400
प्लीज लेट एवरीबॉडी टेक सीट सब लोग सीट ले लीजिए प्लीज टेक सीट हेलो
हेलो
यू ऑल में कम इन
मजेश हेलो मजेश सर का वॉइस आ रहा है ना आपको हाँ अच्छा आ रहे थे चलते
Please take your seats. Please take your seats.
ये कनेक्टेड रहेगा ना अभी ठीक ठीक आप उधर से हेलो करो एक बार कोई तो होगा ना बिजी एडमिन में कोई बिजी एडमिन तो कोई है किसी को बात करने के लिए वो
জানুয়ারি একেবারে নিয়ে নেবে পাবেন যদি কি বলতে
थोड़ा बात करने के लिए
लेट एवरीबॉडी टेक सीट
कैमरा एंगल
लेट एवरीबॉडी सीट
तो फास्ट द फीमेल
Women front row कैसे room में
लेडीज फर्स्ट
not enough. We want the head of seat.
नहीं एवरी डे
then
Maybe all men have come in.
Take the seat from the back only.
We have
Hello?
Hello?
Am I audible?
Yeah, audible.
Okay, thank you.
Sound, please control the sound. ওখানে যে আসবে
Record.
check the sound again. Sound level को फिर check करो.
आपको वीडियो की फॉन्ट करना है पिन किया इधर तेज स्पेसिफिकली
I'm very surprised. Everybody is worried. Everybody is getting ready. She's getting ready.
जो भी बात करेंगे वीडियो ऑटोमेटिक आपके लिए मुझे इधर से कॉन्ट्रोल करना है आप बताइए बात करना है तो आपका वीडियो CS going to meet the chairperson. University brothers will come back in 5 minutes. Let us just finish Bari chapter. For a time being, finish Bari chapter. Hello. होते रहना ठीक है मैं अभी डिस्काउंट करूँगा मैं तो कॉल जब करूँगा
How are you, Mr. Rammohan?
Fine, sir. Is it okay, sir?
ठीक है. Second main. चलिए चलिए. अब दोनों.
Is it okay, sir? Sir, I hope the voice is okay. Sir, whether I am audible?
Mr. Rammohan.
Okay, sir. We are checking.
সাউন্ডটা একটু কন্ট্রোল করুন দাদা হট করে বেরিয়ে গেছে হ্যাঁ নামিয়ে দিন তারপরে কথা বলতে আরম্ভ করলে দেন ইউ ক্যান জাস্ট
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, Mr. Rammohan, I can hear you.
Thank you, sir.
Priya madam is starting from NSS. ये क्या है? अभी we have already said it. ED sir has already joined. It has been sent from Thorati Majesh. Thorati Majesh. I'll just check one minute. Ma'am, it has been sent from Thorati Majesh. VC admin. 1 minute. VC admin, can you check, ma'am? VC admin. It will be from VC admin. Yeah, VC admin. I'll tell you the email ID. You can search empowering women. I think that was the subject line. From SEBI. It was sent. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. आपको क्या कंप्लेंट चाहिए ले लो लिए डुबते दीजिए पैम्पलेट्स पूरा थैंक यू You want anything more? You go and sit with first spot आपके लिए क्या ना पानी नीचे हो गया एक program attend करो yes sir henceforth don't attend any program so this is for ladies only we are filling the gap sir स्टार्ट कर दीजिए
Sir, I'm audible. Sir,
Good evening, everyone. Let me just brief about today's event. We have four amazing persons on the digital dais for sharing their thoughts on the eve of International Women's Day on empowering women investors. We also have few senior SEBI officials who shared their thoughts through videos. In mythology, they say we believe that there are three Devis who are instrumental in every walk of our life. And here also, we have three Devis who shared their thoughts for women empowerment. Let me introduce speakers on the virtual dais. Our Shri G.P. Garg, who is Executive Director, he joined SEBI in the year 1994. He has been closely associated with SEBI and Government of India's initiatives on financial literacy and investor education in the country. He was instrumental in launching of SEBI's complaints redressal systems, that is CORS, and which is the most successful system which he has developed. Securities Market Trainers Program for Investor Education, that is SMARTS, and toll-free helpline and financial education through resource persons, which was a great success where we could reach every nook and corner of the country. Shri Garg was Registrar of NISM from July 2012 to 2018. He played a crucial role in establishment of NISM and setting up of new campus at Patalganga. Mr. Garg is SEBI nominee on the Board of Investors Education and Protection Fund Authority, IEPFA, set up by MCA, Government of India and Technical Group on Financial Inclusion and Financial Literacy under FSDC. Mr. Garg is Chair of the Board of National Center for Financial Education NCFE, a joint initiative of financial sector regulators comprising of RBI, SEBI, IRDA and PFRDA. I can sum up in a sentence about him is without his continuous support, we would not have set up this pavilion. Sir, we are very honored by you. And our chief guest next is Mrs. Aarti Srivastava, Chief Vigilance Officer, SEBI. She is a gold medalist in economics, joined in the Indian Ordnance Factory Service through Civil Services in the year 1990. He served in various positions and her major achievement is she served as a Director of Vigilance in the Ordnance Factory's headquarters in Calcutta, and thereafter she was CEO of Electronic Corporation of ECAL Hyderabad, and thereafter she served as Director of Vigilance of Western Region, which was in charge for the 7 ordnance factories. And after being elevated as Joint Secretary level, she has been selected for Chief Vigilance Officer post in SEBI. She has got a rich experience in the vigilance matters, including her service span during her service span over 31 years. She is also a guest speaker for various prestigious government institutions. Ma'am, we are fortunate to have you as chief guest.
Now is it okay, ma'am?
Our next speaker, Ms. Padmaja Chunduru, MD and CEO of NSDL. She has taken over head of NSDL in September 2021 after a long and successful 37 years of stint in banking industry at SBI and India. Ms. Padmaja has successfully steered the merger of Allahabad Bank into Indian Bank amid the COVID challenges. It was a very big challenge. The key metrics and the empathetic handling of cultural integration of two diverse banks was the subject of a case study of merger of equals by Harvard Business School Publishing. That's a great achievement, ma'am. Prior to the stint of Indian Bank, Mrs. Padmaja was DMD of Digital Banking with SBI. She was country head US operations of SBI at New York during 2014 and 17. Ms. Padmaja joined SBI in 1984 as a probationary officer. Ma'am, your experience is tremendous. Ms. Padmaja was adjudged as Banker of the Year by FE for the year 2019 and 20 and top 100 Women in Finance 2020 by Association of International Wealth Management of India. She has been member of on boards of various institutions like prestigious LIC, Board of Governors of the Madras School of Economics, etc. Ma'am, we are delighted to hear you. Our next speaker is Ms. Priya Subramanian, Chief Regulatory Officer, NSE. In her career spanning over 25 years, Ms. Subramanian has held various leadership roles in the regulatory and compliance space. Among other roles, Ms. Subramanian headed compliance for Goldman Sachs and Lehman Brothers in India. Ms. Subramanian is also a director on the board of the National Securities Depository, NSDL. Ma'am, your experience in the challenging environmental will certainly help us in the other women. It's a get confluence of the speakers from public service, banking and private sector professionals. I am sure that the three powerful women certainly influence the women fraternity towards their financial empowerment. With this, I hand over the dais to Sri G.P. Garg for welcoming the guests and share his thoughts. Sir, please.
Thank you, Mr. Ramon Rao, Regional Director, SEBI Eastern Regional Office, Calcutta, for this wonderful introduction. Respected Madam Aarti Chhabra Srivastava, Chief Vigilance Officer, SEBI. Madam Padmaja Chandru, MD and CEO, NSDL. Madam Priya Subramanian, Chief Regulatory Officer, NSE. And all the ladies and all the audiences I can see from here who are sitting and who are there in the Kolkata International Book Fair. I welcome you all to the Capital Market stall set up by our regional office, Calcutta, and on the 45th International Kolkata Book Fair. It also gives me immense pleasure to welcome all of you on International Women's Day. Very, very good evening to each one of you. Today I would discuss with you briefly about what do we mean by, because we are in the COVID, what do we mean by financial vigilance and how financial literacy or your investor education play important role, along with some of the women specific products which all of you should know about. So to begin with, what is financial vigilance? Because COVID is a kind of black swan event and this has taught us a new lessons. So the COVID-19 pandemic has brought in our focus the importance of individuals and households' financial vigilance. And as we all know, the women play a very important role in running their households and to see that everyone is taken care of. But some of the events like COVID, as well as other financial shocks, unexpected events including those related to employment, health, changes in family composition, and your sometime natural disaster can for sufficient incomes and savings, so that you have a sufficient financial vigilance to overcome such expenses and to see that this doesn't become a shock for you. So this can be done with the help of your own financial planning and also the concepts of financial literacy, which we in SEBI always try to do. But before that, let me also tell you that what is the state of financial literacy in our country, and that's where the importance of events like Kolkata Book International Fair and what SEBI is doing becomes very, very important. Why everyone should make best use of it. If we see in our country, the overall financial literacy is only 27%. This is as per our survey in 2019. It means while we say that 74 to 75% of Indians are literate, when it comes to the financial literacy, we are just 27%. There also, 29% of males are financial literate, but in case of female, only 21% of Indian females are financially literate. When it comes to the financial literacy, basically we see that the person should have knowledge of financial products, he should have a correct behavior, and he should have a correct attitude to take correct financial decisions. So it's a very simple things, but when it comes to real seeing that how financially literate Indians are, the situation is not good, and particularly among the female population. When it comes to the housewives or homemakers, we call them, only 16% of the ladies are financially literate. That's why, sometimes you wonder why they are resorted to, savings in some of the instruments, or we always say, or sometimes people say that they save in a traditional means, but the problem is that our system, or we have to see that their financial literacy is improved, and I'll come to you later that how that can be done. Let me also see, when it comes to the capital market, only 8% of Indians invest in the capital market, and out of which, and only 4% in commodities market. When it comes to the female investors in the mutual funds, only 4% of share is there. If I see from the international standards, it is quite low. And when it comes to the direct stocks or shares, they only 2% of them invest, which is absolutely very, very low. We also recently collected the data from across the country and from the exchanges and found that only and when we did this data deduplication, we found only there are 1.31 crores female who actually invest through the stock markets, while the number of males is 4.6 crores. So there is a huge gap. Even there is already number of investors are not as we thought, and when it comes to the share of female, it is again very low. But this can be done with the help of constant investor education. So we can do this by the events like this international book fair, and today's event where we are discussing how to empower women investors play very, very critical role. My suggestions to all of you who are in the audience are as follows. You should invest in your financial or your investment knowledge. An informed investor is a protected investor, because unless you know some products, you would not be able to make the right decision. So we need to inculcate the habits of not only saving but investing. Please understand that most of the Indians remains, as a savers. They don't go to the stage of investor. So you have to not only save, but you also have to invest. But investment is also not a one-time activity. You should make it as a part of life. You have to always keep on investing, because then only you'll be able to build your wealth. We should not get carried away by hearsay or lure of unrealistic returns in securities market. We should take a well-informed and well-thought-out decision. Not only products of securities market, but I'll say all investment products have risks. So you should understand the risk and reward both before you make your investment. And I will also suggest all the ladies or everyone here, earlier we used to say that everyone should have a bank account. According to me, of course, Padmaja madam is there. I think the time has come when, according to me, every woman should have their Demat account, because our system and the sophistication is so much, so that you don't have to, I know that none of the modern time will keep our money in under the pillows or anywhere. We have a much more sophisticated system, but I would say that for all your investment, whether in equities, debt, mutual fund, government securities, or many more financial products, you should all have your own Demat account. So that's my request to all of you. While discussing the financial planning, and it is equally important that you also know some of your rights and what precautions you should take. So one is that somehow in our Indian systems we are very afraid of writing our will, which is not correct. In fact, according to me, anyone who is 50 plus must write their will, because will is nothing but a written legal declaration of desire to distribute your assets, and you can actually, will means you can express your will, that how your wealth should be distributed. So this way one can transfer assets to loved ones according to his or her preferences. By making a will, one can avoid any dispute among beneficiaries over distribution of the assets. So it's very important. But before will, another thing is very, very important. We all make large number of investments, but according to our study, we recently find that more than 50% of the accounts, there is no nomination. So nomination is very, very important, because what is nomination is, basically a nominee is a person who receives the rights to have custody of the money on the death of the account holder. And nominee is only a custodian of your assets. So nominee doesn't mean, sometimes we see that nominee becomes the absolute owner of your assets. Absolute, that is not correct. So it is very important you nominate someone from the family so that there is no difficulty when it comes to the documentation and the family members have access to the assets. So I request that there should be, some kind of drive which SEBI always, have, where we should encourage everyone, whether you have insurance policy, whether you have mutual fund units, whether you have a demat account, whether you have fixed deposits, you must nominate your loved one or your family members so that, someone knows that what you own and it can be easily transferred to your family members. I would also like to, draw the attention because it's a International Women's Day that our system also protects when it comes to the women. So after the amendments of Hindu Succession Act, if a Hindu male dies, let me clarify here, the legal heirs are his wife, children and mother, not father. Let me clarify, sometimes, so it means, ladies must know that they have, right as a wife, as mother, when it comes to the family property, and after the, whether you are married or unmarried, it doesn't matter. So that becomes very, very important. I would also like, because we are discussing that there is a, very Married Women Property Act, under which if some life insurance policy is taken, so it gives special protection to, wife and children, and such kind of policy cannot be attached, and the money, cannot be, transferred to anyone else except for the person who has been, assigned these kind of policies. So these are some of the important things which are very important for the females. SEBI, not only through these international book fairs, but on continuous basis, do a lot for creating the awareness about the various investments, risk and rewards in respect of securities market. One is resource persons. Just now our regional director mentioned. And let me tell you, whatever programs I will mention to you, these are all SEBI's programs, free for each one of you. You have to simply write to us, make a request, and leave rest to us. So resource persons program is for those who wants to have the basics of financial literacy. The program will be conducted at a place of your choice, wherever you are, any part of the country. We simply want some 50 number of participants. Rest of the things you can leave to SEBI, and our regional offices will be more than happy to conduct these programs in your society, your school, your college, whenever you want, and in your language. Please understand. Unfortunately, I don't know Bangla. Otherwise, I would have been more than happy to speak in Bangla. So kindly forgive me. But I would say that you please choose language you want. These programs will be conducted for you. We also have a slightly higher level programs we call SMARTS program, which are conducted purely for the education in respect of the securities market. Again, please write to us. We'll be more than happy to conduct these things. I'm extremely glad to say that probably West Bengal is one place where we have a reasonable number of investor associations. But because today is the International Women's Day, I would still say, if you want, please make like self-help group your own investor associations. If there is a specific investor association created, formed, run by women, we'll be more than happy, and we are ready to do whatever is needed and to help, so that you can actually then conduct the program, and you can get assistance from SEBI. We also have a special website, SEBI investor website. I'll request all of you, please visit that website whenever it is possible, so that you understand the latest what is happening there. And more than that, we have recently come with the Sarthi app. This is SAARTHI Sarthi app. I would request all of you, when you leave this place, I know Mr. Ramon Rao must have made sure that everyone has this app, but I would say that kindly download this app. We are putting best of our efforts, and let me also tell with lot of pride and lot of happiness that this app is run by all ladies team of SEBI. So who has written the code, who has put the content, who is constantly upgrading it. They are all team of some of the wonderful ladies from SEBI who run it. And this Sarthi app is so popular that in within the first week we had more than 1 lakh downloads, and this app is constantly upgraded by us. So you may have many queries, but most of your our presentations, most of your queries, most of your issues which you may have in respect of securities market, how to do, where to go, what to purchase or not to purchase, if those kind of issues, and before purchasing, what are the precautions you should take, primary market, secondary market, everything is available. So I'll request all of you, please download the Sathi mobile app of SEBI, and it will be a very, very useful for you, and please read also what is written there. And if you still have a complaint, we have a score app, or you can come to the score website. We'll be more than happy to resolve your complaint. This is one area where SEBI gives maximum emphasis. Let me also say with a lot of pride that we have recently come with investor charter, and this investor charter is for ordinary investor like you and me who invest their money, and sometimes they may have the issues with the intermediaries. It's a comprehensive document which covers your rights. It covers what your responsibility, or it also tells you that if you have something in respect of your timelines, what kind of services you should provide for each intermediary. So my request is that that can also be a good instrument for you to look at. There is, I know, shortage of time. The topic is so interesting, and one would not like to finish so early, but I know because of the discipline of time, I would only urge all of you that the investment, as I mentioned, make a habit, and all of you please rise from savers to investors, and from these kind of events, make best use of them. We have some wonderful speakers, Madam Aarti ji, Madam Subramaniam, and Madam Padmaja. They will also speak in their respective topics, so I'll not take much time, but would like to thank Mr. Ram Mohan Rao, Mr. Atanupan, and all the team of SEBI officials who have put their best, and every day they are making sure that each one of you who come to the SEBI pavilion at this Kolkata International Book Fair, they are taken care well, and also for inviting me, and also to all the other participants, NISM and market infrastructure institutions who have been wholeheartedly participating. So my final message is that your financial knowledge takes you to financial inclusion, and finally financial freedom. So financial freedom is one freedom you must all aspire for. Each woman should aspire for financial freedom, and that can only be achieved by constant saving and investment. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for giving us the overview. And now I invite our chief guest, Aarti Chabria, madam. Please, you can address our people in the stall as well as people who are waiting outside the stall also.
So a very good evening to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. You are very, very much audible.
Mr. Garg, Mr. Rao, Ms. Priya, Ms. Padmaja, and all the audience sitting there. Very good evening to all of you. Today, having spent so many years in Kolkata, I'm feeling very nostalgic. And we used to attend this Kolkata book fair every year, and it would have been such a pleasure to be there physically instead of interacting virtually. But considering the constraints of the pandemic, which has still not left us, I shall be talking to you through the virtual mode. But I almost feel that I am there in Kolkata at the venue. So you see, as we all know, women tend to save. They have a natural propensity to save. Even if you give them 10 rupees at the end of the month, they would have saved, if not anything more, at least 5 rupees, and that is how they build the kitty. But what actually happens is when this kitty is there, this money is spent in buying consumer goods, or at best, the physical jewelry or gold or silver. So investing in And that is also not from the point of view of investment, it is more from the point of view of enjoying what you have purchased. But in the ultimate analysis, gold, silver or other precious materials do end up being a relatively good investment. Having said that, it is perhaps not enough to only invest in gold or silver, because if you want to beat the inflation, you need to invest in a basket of products. It could be real estate, it could be securities, it could be the traditional methods, but it has to be diversified. And today, you see, we all agree today that we are observing the International Women's Day. We all agree that to have gender equality, having financial independence is extremely important. And it's just not about going out and working and earning that salary. You also have to take care of that salary, to invest it properly so that you can achieve your long-term and short-term goals. We all interact with very educated women and who are holding very senior positions, but when you talk to them that what do you do in terms of investment, and the common answer is, I don't know, my husband does it or my father does it. Probably they still haven't come to the extent of saying my son will do it. So I don't know, I think there's an inherent inhibition, there's a mindset that investing in the securities market is a male bastion, it is a male domain, they understand things better. But today when we have women at the helm of affairs, we have our own lady chairperson, we have Ms. Priya from the NSE, we have Madam Padmaja from the NSDL. What more proof do we need that women can be good in this area also? They can invest, they can understand the nuances, and going ahead, they can also meet their requirements in future. Now you see, if we are going to talk about financial requirements of the future, we first and foremost, we need to keep aside a kitty, say, which is normally taken as a 3 months kind of amount, which would take care of your 3 months fixed expenditure. Anything over and above that is a good amount to invest in the market. Even if you can't do it through equity or the primary market, the mutual fund route is always available to you, which is very safe and very easy. If you have basic technological literacy along with financial literacy, one can go ahead and invest in mutual funds. Do it in a small way. You can start in an extremely small way by investing as less as even 1,000 rupees per month. Even that, if you do it on a long-term basis and in a sustained manner, will fetch you rich dividends. Of course, the pattern of investment will depend from person to person because their needs are different, the age is different, the risk-taking appetite is different. But to my mind, there's no harm in taking at least moderate risk, and therefore, some investment in mid-caps should be a part of the portfolio of a woman investor. And like Mr. Garg said today, of course, it is sad state of affairs that 2%, 4% of the women are investing in securities market. But if we decide that, okay, each one of us who has some amount of exposure or knowledge, if we say, okay, each one teach one. If we follow that mantra, then even that it will go a long way in increasing the number of women investors. And during the pandemic, there is a report which says that the ladies who are in the age group of say 25 to 35 are today leading the way in terms of investing in the market. They are the ones who are guiding their parents or their spouses in how to invest in the market. And this is the thing. This is like they say, strike when the iron is hot. So this is the moment that we need to capture when people are willing to expose themselves to the market. A couple of words of caution here. There are a lot of people going around, they go to individual homes and they go with different apps and they promise abnormal returns. Please understand, no industry can give you a very high return. If this was so, everybody in India or abroad would be a millionaire. So when something very unnatural or abnormal is being told to you, please take it not with a pinch of salt but with a fistful of salt and analyze everything, get your facts right, and only then invest. One more thing which I really liked about what Mr. Garg said, that like today most women have a bank account, which was perhaps unheard of a couple of years ago or even 10 years ago. So each one of us should have a demat account. Secondly, we should not shy away from talking about financial matters. In many families, even today, when you talk to your spouse or to anybody, it is taken as how is the lady of the house asking questions about what is our financial status, what kind of funds do we have, what we have. Please don't shy away. Please raise these questions at home that I need to know where we stand, what kind of funds we have, what loans do we have, what mortgages do we have, because heaven forbid something happens. I find a lot of women being totally clueless as to what their spouses have done, and this is even more important today in the era of passwords and accounts which you just can't access. At least in the when you had hard copies of documents, you had some proofs. You could go to the bank and find out the details and get some of the things back. But with everything being technologically driven, it is very important to have some information. And I'm not saying that your spouse should not have information about what you are doing. It should be equally shared. Both the partners should have at least basic idea about what the family has invested in and where it has invested. And today we also have, of course, in spite of all your investments, there could be a situation where there are unforeseen expenditures, there could be emergencies, there could be some requirements. So for that, please take an insurance cover also. Today, with a term kind of an insurance, you can get at a very low premium of about 6,000 rupees and you could get a cover of about 1 crore. So that could add to your safety net and the security net. So please also go in for a decent insurance. And now SEBI is also proposing to come out with an electronic form of gold, and where you will be able to have your what they call ECRs, EGRs, right? Electronic gold receipts, and you can trade in them. So it is so much more easier than buying gold and selling gold, because when you go and sell gold in a market, you just don't get the value which you should be getting. But with this new concept being introduced, you can go to the exchange, you can trade in them, and as and when the need arises, you could exchange the EGRs for physical form of gold. And I think this would be a very progressive step, wherein it would attract women investors into your system. So the basic thing that one can say and conclude is that women should enter into this era of investing, into that ecosystem of investing which has so far been a male bastion. Have a basket of investments, and even when you are investing in, say, mutual funds, have invest in different schemes in different mutual fund houses, so that God forbid something goes wrong somewhere, you are able to sustain that setback and move forward. So my advice would be to all the women who are there in the audience, take that step forward and try and make those investments, try and have a basket of investments which will take you forward, which will beat the inflation and also provide you with the necessary safety and security. So thank you very much. That's all that I have to say.
Thank you, ma'am. I think with your encouraging words, people will shy away from asking the financial information from their spouses. The next speaker is, I would invite Ms. Padmaja Chunduri to share her thoughts.
इसको ऐसे कर दो, इसको तो कुछ नहीं करना है ना, तो अगर चलता रहेगा कुछ प्रॉब्लम, मैं कैमरा स्विच ऑफ कर दे रही हूँ बस.
पद्मजा मैम,
इसको चलने दो. म्यूट कर दिया. म्यूट कर. क्या नाम है?
यस मैम. पद्मजा मैम.
Yeah. Can you hear and see me?
Yes, we are able to see.
But suddenly something went wrong. I can't see you. But if you can, then no problem. I can continue.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Ramohan, for inviting me to this this very interesting seminar. And Thank you to Shri G.P. Garg, Executive Director SEBI. I think his talk was very interesting, especially talking of financial planning beyond saving and investing, and actually he talked of the will and how we should be looking at things beyond the normal. Uh, Thanks to Mr. Aarti Chabra also, a very interesting talk, and Priya, nice to be on the same panel. Yes, I think I'll mostly quote from my experience being in the banking sector. Right from the beginning, I was always wondering that I've seen my mother, I've seen my mother-in-law, I've seen women at home, and it looked like the financial decisions were jointly taken or mostly again driven by the women, if not the ultimate details, but at least the overall plan about priorities and where we should allocate the limited resources we have. Apart from that, there was also the planning in terms of how much to buy, what to buy, just-in-time buying. I mean, all the concepts that today corporates are talking of, economic quantity, purchase, and all that. I think this was practiced in households for a long time, and women were the force behind all this. The prudence, the trust, the kind of care that they took in allocating money without actually handling it or outwardly being in control of it, I think shows that women have the natural instinct to save, to invest is the next level, but to save for a rainy day was always a very well entrenched in the DNA of women. I think when we see the tradition in Indian household, the fulcrum was the mother, the housewife, and overall she was also the financial planner, as far as I can see in many households. She was also the lender of the last resort. The adage that RBI has, I think in households it belongs to the mother, because when people run out of money, there is a sudden emergency, they all know that the mother will have something stashed away somewhere and it will come in handy in case of an emergency. This was what I have seen also, that women display this kind of a care and this kind of a prudence while we did the Jan Dhan Yojana account openings in banks. Most of these accounts were opened by women, and in the beginning people thought, oh, this is a thankless job, but this would be zero balance accounts, there won't be any income for the banks, it's okay, we are doing it because we need to do it. But 2 years, 3 years down the line, we saw that all these accounts had very good balance, and they had enough balance to make the banks run after them now with opening branches in the tier 2, tier 3 or wherever, having BCs, which again are women, mostly the business correspondents. So this last mile connectivity helped in women coming together, in becoming savers, in becoming to some extent investors. Like they are the buyers of the insurance policies, they are into small level mutual funds and various other schemes of the government. That said, I think the entrepreneurial spirit of women, which made them come together as self-help groups and actually avail loans from the banks, use them for a commercial purpose, then again make money out of it and build a business out of it, has also helped them look at various other financial initiatives that they could take to invest as a group. And this we handle through the organizations that I worked, that we would introduce them to a small level, the next level of investing, which would be a mutual fund or which would be a demat account, that sort of a thing. But I think it is still at the very nascent stage, very beginning. As Madam Aarti mentioned, I think the proclivity to invest in gold and invest in real estate is very, very well entrenched. Even that said, I think there is still a lot of opportunity for us to look at investing in the equity through mutual funds or through direct investment. There is a lot of education that is available. Mr. Garg mentioned that there is enough material available, enough podcasts available, enough YouTube videos available. If people are interested in looking at those things, it is not a rocket science compared to the kind of complex world that we are navigating. This is simple, and once you start on the journey, it becomes even more and more clearer. And to do that, I think all under SEBI's guidance, the investor protection fund is there. There is an investor awareness program run by all the market infrastructure institutions. NSDL itself runs the different programs for different clientele. We have one market Eklavya certification program for students or anyone who wants to get into the basics of the stock market. Both the risks and the rewards covered very clearly. Since these are market MII, so there is there is a lot of credibility and the trust attached to these institutions, and which we try to maintain and actually enhance as we go forward. Now, we also from NSDL, we have tried to create a financial awareness among the women, particularly the demographic segment of women and senior citizens, two different demographics. And this is a separate program that we are launching. It will be online and it will be in vernacular. Like Mr. Garg mentioned, I think the key is in reaching out to people in their native, in their actual mother tongue. So that regional languages use is coming in very handy in actually reaching out to the colleges, schools, in for the students, and through various associations for the women. There are like even the Calcutta book fair that we are today enjoying. I think there are many associations, many groups that form part of this bigger umbrella, under this umbrella. This is something that, like SEBI mentioned, we would be very happy and keen to actually associate with them, try to do programs that are customized to their need. One size fits all is not a solution here. We need to make sure that what we say is what we say or what we convey is what the investor or the audience really wants. That said, I think there is a lot of material available on the website, available on the YouTube, and we are giving it in small bits so that it doesn't become too tedious, one thing at a time. I've seen my friends actually, it was mentioned earlier, women somehow seem to shy away from the financial details. Whether it's even the banking fixed deposits, even the other investments in banks, you find that very rarely do women come and handle it by themselves. It's usually accompanied by a male member of the family. The decisions, we need to own the decisions also. So that takes a lot of stress, but it also gives a lot of empowerment. I think when we own the result of our own decisions, it gives a real confidence and to take the next step. And women being naturally prudent, I assume and I think it is proven again and again that women are careful, don't jump into bigger things, and that reward and risk is somehow very intuitively balanced in your mind. I expect that the girls of today, the students of today would mature into very responsible, very sensible investors. This is very much necessary because if we have to form part and play our equal role in the economic development of the country, we cannot have our our financial assets just tucked away somewhere. We have to put it to use in the nation building and earn a reward out of it. Whether you want to be an entrepreneur, whether you want to be a salaried individual, the whole gamut has to come together. Your saving, your investment, your financial planning, and even if you are an entrepreneur, you would go beyond that, actually seeking investments from people. And this, I think, will take women to the next level of financial empowerment. Yes, economic independence is one part of it. You need to earn your money. You need to have a good way of proving that you are capable of handling your own requirements. Apart from that, I think actually to bring in more money into the family, to actually make sure that the whole family goes as planned in terms of the financial track, I expect and I sincerely believe that women have a bigger role to play. And for that, they need to come out of that shell of that mental block that this is something we should not handle, or we need not handle, or we cannot handle. I think we can, we shall, and we will do this thing with the help of institutions, SEBI, MIS, and with a lot of hand-holding that goes along the way. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. NSDL itself has a office in Calcutta. I think our RM Mr. Supratim is there. Mr. Ramon must be working with him very closely. I request all the audience, the women who are attending this meet, to look up the consolidated account statement that NSDL puts out. It gives you the complete list of your holdings with the latest value that is attached to them. I think this is a very good concept to have. You will learn, you will also see the fairness and transparency with which the whole system functions. Now, with that request, I would like to thank the arrangers, the organizers again, Ramohan, for giving me this opportunity, and thanks again.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for addressing the women, and you. I hope this your address has must have built a lot of confidence with the women who are here, and yes, they can take financial decisions independently, and they are much more prudent investors, I can say. Now I invite Ms. Priya Subbaraman to share her thoughts on this occasion.
Thank you, Mr. Rao, and Mr. Garg, Mr. Rao, Mr. Srivastava, Mr. Chunduru, all the participants. Very good evening and a very happy Women's Day. I received quite a lot of happy Women's Day messages, but one that actually stuck with me. I said that when women are empowered and their work acknowledged, incredible things happen. Faith renews, bonds strengthen, and generations flourish. Sounds a bit, fancy, but if you think about it, that all the messages that have come from, Ms. Chunduru and Ms. Srivastava actually say that women save, women are the fulcrum, and if we actually empower the women, then a lot of, again to use the word, incredible things can happen. So, to that extent, I think the message is absolutely spot on. But I just want to add one more dimension. If women are aware and work to obtain knowledge in financial matters and use that knowledge, then they are truly empowered. That is, that's, I don't know how, whether this morning Times of India carried the same edition. But when I woke up this morning and saw the first page of Times of India, there was one person, and it was a Facebook ad actually, Rachna Ranade. During this pandemic, she has built her entire, she's a CA, and she's built her entire financial, again, Mr. Dhru spoke about this. In bits, she actually explains investing, stock markets, etc. So she has built a following to the extent that she's made the first page, the entire first page of the Times of India. So that's, and some time ago I was actually seeing Kavita Subramanian, who's the founder and part owner of Upstocks, talk about her experience. So the point which I want to make is we all should actually go out there, put our best feet forward and seek that empowerment. Just all the speakers before me have said, there's so much information out there. It is in local languages, it's in English, there is bit information, there's a lot of information. It's important that you just go out and feel confident enough to read, understand, and then convert your saving to investment. I think other speakers have said that as well. So I will now focus a little bit on the messages that I wanted to give. One is, in this course of seeking financial empowerment, converting your savings into investment, there are a few things which is very important for you to take care of. One is, please deal only with registered intermediaries. Ms. Srivastava said that as well. There is no such thing as 50% return, 90% return, 3 days में you will double your money. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. अगर होता ना तो हम लोग सब लोग वही करते रहते. हम ऐसे बैंक में काम नहीं करते, स्टॉक एक्सचेंजेस में काम नहीं करते, सेबी में काम नहीं करते. हम लोग वो 3-3 दिन डबल मनी के पीछे चले जाते. So as it is, as if assured returns and the people that are collecting money in the name of assured return or capital protection or guaranteed scheme, fixed scheme was not enough. Now we also have people, sending SMSs, Telegram channels, all the various social media, Twitter, Facebook, Telegram channel, WhatsApp groups, then 10 other things which I'm reasonably not aware of because I'm too old for it. All of those are actually talking about, and there is crypto also. So people talk about invest in Bitcoin, invest in Ethereum. I don't think most people don't even know the difference between the two. So it's very important that the journey from saving to investing is not going to be completed in 2 days and 3 days and 2 months. It's extremely important that you exercise care, caution. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है that आपके पैसे डबल हो जाएंगे, नहीं होता है भाई. आज के इंटरेस्ट रेट के हिसाब से डबल होने के लिए 6 साल लगेगा. So you please don't get and it's a little tempting, right? I mean you feel कि चलो ठीक है थोड़े पैसे डाल के देखती हूँ. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. Just be very careful. In fact, Ms. Srivastava has listed a whole list of assets which you could potentially, if you want to test the waters, so to speak, you can actually do that. There is mutual fund. There is in small bits you can actually invest. I will also, because I am from an exchange, I will certainly tell you that you must invest in ETFs, because ETFs, broad-based ETFs, certainly will give, the risk is low, much lower than what you might otherwise find. Open a demat account, get used to this process of investing. If 1 or 2 times your investment doesn't go right, it's fine. You will get the confidence to be able to build your wealth. I think that is literally the only way. So at least again, I'm from an exchange, so I will tell you that the only way to build wealth is to be in the stock markets, to be in the equity markets. Do it slowly, but take one step at a time. It's I think exceedingly important for you to do that. The other part is if you're already in the stock market, then there are SEBI and exchanges have come up with so many rules to make sure that your client assets, your assets are protected. So when exchanges and SEBI and NSDL and Mr. Guru spoke about CAS as well, frankly I find it extraordinarily useful, because एक ही जगह में सब आता है. Mutual funds आता है, bonds आता है, insurance policies आता है, everything is in one show. So I don't have to go running here and there to try and find out इधर मेरा पैसा किधर है, उधर किधर है. I can actually get everything together. So use all these tools that the exchanges, the depositories, SEBI, all of us have developed a lot of tools for you. So essentially, please use all of them. And Ms. Chandru mentioned that women are the fulcrum, but they don't actually go out there and make those decisions. Or even if they do make the decisions, it's not apparent. I think it's a little like cooks and chefs. A lot of women cook. Very, very few of them are professional chefs. So I'm sure a lot of you are taking these decisions or would like to take those decisions, but you're not putting your best foot forward. So my request, and I just want to push you to doing that. I mean that's exactly what I think you need to do. The other thing is saving doesn't and Mr. Garg said the saving doesn't mean investing. You can save a lot of money, you can let it go idle. Everybody understands the power of compound interest. So it's very important that your money earns more money, because if you want to retire at a reasonably young age, you need to make sure that every paisa that you earn is actually making you more money. So at the last, I just want to say, build your confidence. There is a lot of help available. You have colleagues. My colleague Devankur is there. I think I saw Amrita also. See, all the exchanges are available. Everybody is available to help you. So we conduct, as again Ms. Chandru said, we conduct a lot of programs. Participate in those programs. There is a lot of investor education material available. If you don't understand, you should feel free to reach out to any of the MIIs. We will all help you. The important thing is India should become a country where women have an equal an equal contribution in moving India forward. I think that's something also which other speakers have said. So in order to build your confidence, it's exceedingly important to have that to have the knowledge of finance. So आर्थिक स्वाधीनता जो है, that will come only if you have knowledge. And frankly, financial freedom is exceedingly important. I mean, if you think about, and if we are going to follow what the Prime Minister has been saying for the longest time in terms of Atmanirbharta, you are not going to get there till such time as you actually have that financial knowledge and financial freedom. So I will end with that. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. It's so nice. There are a lot of advices which are given to the women investors. I hope all this complete session is going to be a very nice one. And please, I would like to share few videos of our senior officials from SEBI where they could not join through web link. So they have sent their videos. Please let us have a look on that.
সুপ্রভাত। আন্তর্জাতিক নারী দিবসে 2022 উপস্থিত সকল মাননীয় মহাদয়কে জানাই আমার সাদর আমন্ত্রণ ও নমস্কার। আমি সেবির পক্ষ থেকে আন্তরিক ধন্যবাদ জানাই সকল পৃষ্ঠপোষক উদ্যোক্তাদের যাদের প্রচেষ্টায় আজকের এই স্টল কলকাতা পুস্তক মেলায় বিনিয়োগকারীদের সচেতনতার প্রথম সচেষ্ট পদক্ষেপ। আমি আশা করব এই প্রচেষ্টা আগামী দিনেও যেন আরো বহিরূপে প্রকাশ পায়। আজকের নারী শুধু গৃহবন্দী নয়, প্রতিটি ক্ষেত্রে পুরুষ শাসিত সমাজে পুরুষদের সঙ্গে প্রতিযোগিতার মাধ্যমে দৃষ্টান্ত স্থাপন করে তালে তাল মিলিয়ে এগিয়ে চলেছে। দেশের প্রতিরক্ষায় কম্ব্যাট ফোর্স হিসেবে যেমন অধিকার অর্জন করেছে, তেমন মহাকাশ গবেষণায় নিজেদের আত্মপ্রকাশ সমাজের দৃষ্টি আকর্ষণে সমর্থ হয়েছে। অতীতের গৃহবন্দী নারীর কাছে আজ সুযোগ ও অধিকার এসেছে গৃহলক্ষ্মীর প্রকৃত রূপ শেয়ার বাজারের মাধ্যমে উপস্থাপনা ও নৈপুণ্য দেখাবার। মহিলাদের এগিয়ে আসতে হবে নিজেদের অর্থনৈতিক সম্পূর্ণর দিকে। দেশ তখন লাভবান হবে যখন নারী গৃহলক্ষ্মী রূপ পরিবর্তন করে দেশকে অর্থনৈতিক আত্মনির্ভর ও সচ্ছলতার কীর্তি স্থাপন করতে পারবে। এর জন্য চাই বিদ্যা, অর্জিত বিদ্যার প্রকৃত ব্যবহার। আমি একান্তভাবে বিশ্বাস করি আজকের অপরাজেয় টেকনোলজি পারদর্শী, শিক্ষিত, দায়িত্ববোধ সম্পন্না ভারতীয় নারীর অর্থনৈতিক ক্ষমতার পূর্ণ প্রকাশ এবং তার সদ্ব্যবহার শেয়ার বাজারে নিয়োজিত হওয়া দরকার। এটাই সঠিক ও সুচিন্তিত পদক্ষেপ হবে টুয়ার্ডস এম্পাওয়ারমেন্ট অফ ওমেন ইনভেস্টার্স। ধন্যবাদ।
Myself, Anita, a SEBI official for the last 23 years. A very happy and fulfilling journey. Studies have shown that 7% of India's women do independent investment through learning. With the change in social background, men and women having equal roles in family finances, 7% is not promising. With advancement in technology and the digital platforms on your fingertips, doing research about the financial options, investment options, and making your independent assessment with respect to the investments and going ahead with it, no big challenge for women who handle multiple roles. So make your own research and do your safe and secure investments. Also teach your girl and godchild to think beyond their piggy banks and financial goals and planning. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Aparna Tyagarajan from SEBI Mumbai. A woman's best protection is a little money of her own, said a wise lady who knew her worth. To realize the heights to which she can fly and to give herself the wings to soar is only the least she can do to lead a life of fulfillment in a true sense. From this context, financial independence for women is nothing short of a necessity and an essential life goal. I am very happy to note that the SEBI Eastern Regional Office is participating in the Kolkata Book Fair and is observing International Women's Day through the theme of empowering investors. I convey my best wishes to the organizers and team ERO of SEBI for this wonderful initiative. To all the enthusiastic women investors out there who are visiting the stall in such huge numbers, more power to you on this journey in not only empowering yourself, but also for being an inspiration for so many more women out there. Thank you and my best wishes to all. Thank you.
Hello friends, this is the first time that SEBI along with MIIs and NISM is participating in this book fair. book fair which is held at a very grand scale, which is much talked about and has international participation. It's a moment of proud for us also to be here. I welcome all the guests who are visiting our stall that is aimed towards investor awareness. On this day of International Women's Day, I also welcome all female investors and guests who are here. The theme for this year's International Women's Day is Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow. And going by that theme, the first thing that strikes us is financial independence for women. Financial independence actually makes the women feel secure. It is all about deciding what to do with your money, and this is not only important for working women but also for housewives. By such kind of awareness, you can not only contribute in your household income but also save money by investing in various financial instruments. And it is here that we would be of immense help to you. Please come to us, visit our stall, ask a lot of questions, learn about securities market, the various investment avenue that is available to you. You can even come to us with any of your questions or any complaints that you think is in the remit of exchanges or SEBI. The officials of SEBI, the officials of our Institute of Securities Market, the officials of exchange and depositories are here, and we are very happy to help you out in all the possible ways that we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Barnali ma'am, Anita Anup and Aparna and Surbhi Gupta. And the final question is, we'll give a vote of thanks. Miss Leena will be giving you a vote of thanks. Please, ladies.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Leena Shri, Assistant General Manager, SEBI, and I would like to just take this opportunity, and I think I speak on behalf of all the women present over here, all the female staff members of SEBI, NISM, and all the other MIIs. A heartfelt thank you to the entire team for putting up this program in such a short span, and the entire team being the staff members of SEBI, MIS and NISM. Thank you so much, and sir, special thank you to RD sir, Atanu sir, and my colleague Joydeep here for extending this special invite so that we could be a part of this program, attend the book fair, and on this special occasion for us. Thank you so much, sir. We feel super special and truly touched. Thank you so much. I don't say that lightly. Thank you so much. And I just want to wrap this up by saying, here's to all the strong women present here. May we know them, may we be them, and may we raise them. Cheers to all of you. Happy Women's Day.
Thank you, sir. Now we can end of this session. And thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Now the Gaurav will take over the next program.
Okay, so a small token of appreciation we would like to give to all the ladies over here. So prior to that, just a couple of words from our end. The International Women's Day is celebrated to recognize the social, economic, cultural and political achievements of women, raise awareness about women's equality, and it lobbies for an accelerated gender parity. The theme for 2022 of the Women's Day is Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow. So let's imagine a world that is equal, that is gender free, that does not have discrimination and does not have stereotypes. So a world that is diverse and equitable and as well as inclusive. So a world where the difference is actually valued and there's no biasness. So with this, there's a hashtag that we would celebrate everyone today. It goes by the name of hashtag break the bias. Hashtag break the bias. So we've also decorated our stall with purple color, and the reason being is that the international celebration is associated with the color purple, and the reason it is done so is to represent justice and also dignity for women. So with these words, I would like to now ask RD sir to now present a small token of appreciation to all the women in our stall. So
please come one by one and
so one by one I request you all to please
call the name. You have to call by name.
let's do one thing. We can ask them to introduce themselves. Yeah, start.
Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Atanu sir, Jaideep sir, RD sir. I think I second what she said.
Please stop. Let us.
Yes. So I am Anisha Ganguly from BSc. Thank you so much, everybody. Special thanks to sir.
Yeah, next you just say your name.
Hi everyone, this is Amrita Basu from NSE, and this was a lovely evening and a great surprise for us. Thanks sir.
सर एदिक टेक दे एदिक आप अभी
ये वाला बेटर हाँ सर
पूरे गया सिस्टम टाइप थैंक यू हाँ हाँ
Look at me, please.
Good evening everyone. I am Nikki Agarwal from SEBI, and I won't take much of the time. Happy International Women's Day to all of you. We can, we will.
I think we should all applaud for everyone.
I'm Rachel Burgess. I'm from SEBI and I work for Mr. Rau's office.
Hello everyone, myself Sudha from SEBI, and I feel happy to be part of this program. Happy Women's Day.
Vikas sir. Sir,
और कितना बोलूंगी सर
Hello everyone, myself
Momita Nakshaduri. I'm from BSc Institute Limited, and happy Women's Day to everyone.
Can you please request the ladies to be a bit loud?
Hi everyone, this is Shrimoy Mukherjee. I'm from BSc Institute. Happy Women's Day. Thank you.
Good evening everyone, happy Women's Day. I'm Momita Ghosh from BSc Institute.
Hello everyone, good evening. Happy Women's Day. I am Tanushree Paul from BSc Institute. Thank you so much. Hello everyone, happy Women's Day, good evening, and thank you all. So we are really grateful to you. It's a really surprise gift for us, and we are thankful to you. Thank you. I'm Anindita from SEBI.
Good evening everybody. I am Shondipa Sarkar from SEBI.
Good evening everyone, happy Women's Day. Myself Amrita from SEBI.
এটা ঘুরিয়ে নেবেন স্যার, এরকম ঘুরিয়ে নেবেন। হ্যাঁ,
Good evening everyone, I am Shimona Banerjee from SEBI. Happy Women's Day.
Hello, good evening everyone. Deepa from SEBI.
Good evening everyone, this is Harshita Pant from NISM. Happy Women's Day everybody. Thank you everyone.
Good evening everyone, I am Pooja from NSC.
पाँच छः और
Good evening everyone. This is Ankita from NSC, Ankita Chakraborty, and happy Women's Day to all.
আমি ওখানে খুঁজছি কি শেষ করলো কাজ আপনি এখন ঠিক
Hi everyone, I am Sonam Samani Agarwal from MCX. Thank you for this lovely event. Thank you.
Good evening everyone. Brinda Sengupta, and let's all pledge to celebrate men and women equally.
Hello everyone, I am Joyita from BSc.
Hello everyone, I am Deepa from BSc. Happy Women's Day to all.
Hi everyone, this is Gurvashi from BSc. Happy Women's Day to everyone.
Good evening everyone, Kamna from BSc. Good evening everyone, this is Talia from NSC. Happy Women's Day to all the wonderful women here. Thank you.
और है सर नहीं नहीं तुम भी একটা দাও আর একটা আছে
Happy Women's Day everyone. I'm Shamrita. I'm from SEBI. I hope you all had a good time. That's all. Thank you.
So, thank you everyone. That was a token of appreciation from our end to all of y'all. So, I hope you remember the hashtag break the bias. And with that, we will now break for some, we have some snacks with us. So please enjoy your snacks and we will call it a day. Thank you. Thank you everyone. Happy Women's Day again.
जो भी होगा एक्स्ट्रा दे देंगे और कुछ दे देंगे नहीं अपने वाले
Thank you one and all for coming over here and making this event very successful, and without your support, you could not have achieved anything. So thank you very much.
I will request everyone to collect the food packets and we can just take the exit from this entry gate so that we can set up the stall once again for the visitors.
ডিসকানেক্ট করে দিচ্ছে মাইক হবে এটাকে আমরা বার করতে পারতাম না তো বার করতে আমি বলে দিচ্ছি সব টাইপ হয়ে গেছে
Thank you.
প্যাকেটগুলো দিয়ে দাও Please connect your snacks boxes. Mithun and Shubham, just come inside the stall, please. आप लोग ये चेयर में से हटा दीजिए, जैसे स्टॉल था वैसे करवा दीजिए। यशोजीत, एक तो स्टॉल का सेटअप करते प्लीज सेंड योर पीपल ना। Please. And Gaurav, please don't allow any visitors now. Just give me another 5 minutes.
Stop. Don't worry. I'm worried.